Hello there, it's Carrie Rhodes here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel and another card making video. I am here featuring some stamps from Trinity Stamps. These are the Slimline Chicks and Bunnies stamp sets. I'm going to be making backgrounds with these cards using Distress Oxide Sprays. So let's jump into the fun and start spraying. I have a piece of 8.5 by 3.5 inch white paper that I'm spraying first with Worn Lipstick Distress Oxide Spray. I'm spraying it on one end 2 times, and then I'm bringing in Carved Pumpkin and spraying that in the middle 2 times as well. And on the end, I'm going to bring in Mustard Seed. So I thought these would be really fun, bright colors for spring. And then once I have that done, I'm going to remove the nozzle and use that little tip for some larger splatters on top. And I will wipe off the cap before putting that away and bringing out the next color. And then I'll finish it off with the yellow on the very end, and we'll just set that aside to dry. I actually did 2 of these backgrounds because I am making 2 cards, one with the bunnies and one with the chicks. So the one that's already dry, I'm going to spray with water and my Distress sprayer. That didn't make too much of a difference, but I am going to add more splatter with some white acrylic paint that I have watered down with some water. Yeah, with water, because what else would you use? Okay, so once those are dry, I'm going to stamp them. This is the Slimline Bunnies. I think this giant slimline stamp is super cool. It makes me so happy to have this huge of a stamp. I love it. So I know I'm only going to get one shot at stamping this because the paper is a little warped. I used my heat gun to help dry it, and I am going to help with that one time of stamping by using my VersaFine Onyx black ink. It has some pigment in it, so it's a really thick ink with good coverage. So I'll ink up my stamp really well, and then I'm just going to hold this on here for ever. I'm going to press on it and rub on it and make sure I get every corner and nook and cranny and bunny tail that I can possibly get, and hoping that it will turn out the first time. And it did. I am really happy. It looks fabulous. Just seeing it all stamped out, it makes me so happy. So here's the Slimline Chicks stamp set. These stamps are really adorable. If you look at the images up close, it will just make you smile. There's a grumpy bunny and a bunny doing meditation, and there's a little chick with a bee on its nose and one with a binky. They're just the cutest. And over this splatter, it just reminds me of a dyed Easter egg. It just has a really fun Eastery feel to me. So I have picked out one of the bunny images and one of the chick images and a sentiment from each that go with this coordinating slimline, or they coordinate with this Slimline stamp set. I'm going to color those out. So I am using 2 shades of yellow. Y19 is my darkest and Y04 is my lightest. I'm going to go over that 2 times to get a nice blend, and then I'm going to work on the little feet. Y07 is my darkest and YR16 for my lightest. I have 3 shades of gray for the egg, C0 for my lightest, my darkest is C2, and then I'm even going to bring in my C00 to really lighten out that blend. And then I thought it would be fun to stipple on some dots to go with the spotter in my card to finish that off. I have the same exact orange markers to do the carrot. I love that it has the lines on it, so you can really use that as a good place to add some shadow for the carrot. And then for the top, I have YG06 and G14 for the greenery. And then for the bunny, I'm using the same C markers I did on the egg. So C0 is going down first, and then I'll add some darker shadows with the C2. I'll blend that out again with my C0, and then just soften everything out with the C00 for a really light gray bunny. And then I have my gel pen. This is a size 10 Jelly Roll pen, and I'm adding in the white highlights because it's my favorite thing to do with my Copic colored images. Now, these stamp sets do not have dies. There's only a couple images that would need dies, so you can easily fussy cut these out, or if you have an electronic cutter, you could just run it right through there. So I'm fussy cutting mine out, even though I do have an electronic cutter. It was just 2 little images, and now I'm going to cut out some circles. These are the etched circle stackable die set. So when you die cut, it has like an outer line that etches into the paper. It's so classy. Then I'm going to use this banner die from the Slimline Scalloped die set to die cut out my sentiments for each, having the flag only on one end. Now I needed to trim down my papers. I trimmed them down to about 8 inches by 3 inches because I want to put them on top of this scalloped border. So I'm going to cut 2 of those from pink. I love that it has the stitched detail on there, but I realized my 8-inch by 3-inch paper covered up that stitching. So I'm trying to decide if I should just cover it up or should I trim it down. So now I am splattering those orange circles. I thought I was just going to do the carved pumpkin, but then I decided let's do all 3 of the colors and just see how it looks like. If you got the idea, you should always go for it and give it a try. So I did. I'm going to let those dry, and then I have some yellow polka dot paper from the Autumn Rainbow Paper Pack. On one card, I'm going to do polka dots on the bunnies, and then on the chicks, I'm going to use the opposite side and use the stripes. And those strips are about 3/4 of an inch wide. I did end up trimming down my paper to 7 7/8 by 2 7/8 so that the stitched line would show around it. I'm gluing down my sentiments in the top left corner, and then both of these circles I'm going to put down with some foam squares. They weren't quite dry. I did, and so when I put them upside down to put the foam squares on, I did get a tiny bit of ink splatter on my bunny. You have to see if you can see it in the photos at the end. It's very subtle. Now I am mounting these panels onto card bases that measure 8.5 by 7 and are scored at 3.5. So it has this tiny bit of white border showing around, which just makes me feel like it's like the top of a treat box or something. I don't know. I think it looks really cute with the white peeking around, but you could always cut your card base a little smaller if you didn't want the white to show. Now, I thought I needed an extra sentiment for each of these cards. So I'm going to bring out the stamp sets again, stamp some more, and die cut some more. So for my bunny card, I have one that says I'm all ears, but I felt like I had too much of the banner showing, so I decided I would try to line it up and die cut it a second time, and oh my word, it worked. Wow. When does that ever happen? Like usually I'm going to try it and then I have to restamp it anyway, but this time it worked out. Now on to the Chirp Up Friend. When I die cut this, I did not get the die quite straight enough. It was a little crooked, so I just used that end piece that I cut off from I'm All Ears and restamped it. I feel like it's crooked again, but you know, I guess that's how the card is meant to be. So I'm going to use it. I'm going to trim a little off the end and stick it down in the bottom right corner, right over that patterned paper. And I love how it turned out with the double sentiments. And so there is my 2 cards. There are my 2 cards. Yeah, grammar is not my strong suit. Sorry. And I really love these Slimline stamps. They are so much fun. Of course, you could color these out and color each individual chick. That would be so cute. I've seen it on several cards from other design team members from Trinity. And I also just wanted to show you that there is other techniques that you can do with it, like this with your Distress Oxide Sprays. So I hope you've enjoyed today's video. I will be back again very soon with more stamping fun just for you. If you're interested in the supplies I used, I have them linked for you below. And if you're new here, feel free to subscribe. I have new videos all the time, and I would love to see you on the next one. Happy stamping! Bye!